now see, so Sir has ass eating tips from Jay.
That's Sheikh Habibis. Sheikh Habibis will always give me the tips that I have. Well, and I'll give this tip for free. Get fucking bidets, you fucking nasty pieces of shit. America, I don't understand what it is about Americans and bidets. Look, if you want to be an ass eater, you gotta have a bidet in your fucking house. It's disgusting. So I have big bidets.
Allahu Akbar.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, Habibis. How's everyone doing today? How you doing, Siraj? Siraj? There he is in all his glory. It happens. It happens. So a little backstory here today. I'm flying solo today because unfortunately Siraj's uncles could not figure out what happened with their Pakistani cave internet. So apparently internet in caves aren't very reliable. I didn't know that. He didn't know that. So hopefully we can get it up and running later on. But right now you got Jihad Hour here with me, Habibi. So settle in, Habibis, because we got some really good topics to go over today. And this might be the episode that gets our YouTube channel banned. Let's see how well I do. All right. First things first. Today, we would like to go over the Virginia gubernatorial race. I don't know if you guys have seen what's going on over there, but things are heating up bad. The first thing I want to show is this little clip from Mayor Giuliani.
Virginia, vote against the man who dishonored our past by selling my bedroom hundreds and hundreds of times to scoundrels in a pay-for-play scheme. In my time, we had a name for men who sold bedrooms for one night. In your time, the name is Terry McAuliffe, and the Clinton flees once and for all.
You know what this reminds me of? This reminds me of when my mom first figured out Snapchat filters and started playing around with them nonstop and sending me all these different kind of videos, acting like she's the person who has that filter on. Like, it's absolutely fucking insane. And what is he even talking about? This is what happens when you allow boomers to understand technology and actually use technology. We're all worse for it. We can't do it. But moving to the other side and showcasing what either millennials, I don't know if they're millennials or Gen Z, but they can show us what they got. So is that millennials or were those Gen Zs? I think they were millennials. I think we can say they're on the cuff of being millennials. Now, the funny thing about that is how they're dressed up as AOC talking about voting against anti-Semites. That right there is absolutely hilarious to me. that that's what they're doing. So basically, what we have here in the race for the governorship in Virginia is how further down in society we can go. I mean, I thought we were already at the bottom of the barrel, but they're here to show us, oh, there are more layers down there. And the guy to really, really top it off is Terry himself. Now, those moves right there, Nadim Siraj himself could have helped to be dancing that well. We're fucked. Luckily, I don't live in Virginia. We're already fucked here in California, so I don't have to worry about that shit. But Virginians, you guys need to go out and vote. You really, really do. And write my name in instead. Every one of you guys just, I mean, how hilarious would that be? Like, that would be absolutely fucking hilarious. If I became the governor of Virginia and was sworn in with my Distasha. That is what's supposed to happen. Oh, look, Siraj is here. Hey, Siraj. This is weird. It really, really kind of is. I'm trying to pilot this flight all by myself. And I think we can do this. I think I can fly this plane into a building of success. I really, really think we can get that going. And inshallah, we'll have you here soon to fly into the other building of success. That is what I'm hoping for. Yes, exactly. That's exactly what I mean. You have all of these politicians running for races in different districts. Why can't I be the governor of Virginia? I think I can do better for Virginians than what we have right now. I really, really do. I don't know what Virginians like. I don't know who lives in Virginia, except for like boomers like Siraj who just moved out. I know a lot of journalists like to live in Virginia. So I know for a fact, first thing as governor of Virginia is I will build an identical replica of Gitmo solely for journalists. So instead of having to like ship them off to Cuba, we will save money by making a Gitmo within Virginia. And to be honest, I know the layout pretty well of Gitmo. I have a few uncles there. We WhatsApp from time to time. They send me pictures of their cell, what they're eating, when they're allowed to go play tug in the yard. So I think we can actually get a plan going. I'm very, very, very. Hold on, I got a message. Jihadi Hour with Jay. Sorry about that. The FBI said slow my roll with the flying into buildings rhetoric. I apologize for that, but we're gonna be taking off even faster right now because another top story was the death of one of the top 5. So that means there's 4 to go of Colin Powell. He died over COVID complications. Honestly, like this has nothing to do with the vaccine. I don't take the argument of saying like despite being vaccinated twice and all of that kind of stuff, because in reality, he had severe underlying diseases. He was 84 years old, and he was I think it was immune compromised, and he kicked the bucket. So, I mean, it's more of dying of old age and karma than it really is of dying from COVID. Like if we were being all honest and sincere about it. And when I say 4 to go, I mean of the big liars who lied to everyone's face and murdered hundreds of thousands of people. There's something on Twitter. There are there are sometimes that you can be restrained on people, and there's sometimes that they don't deserve it. And Colin Powell, in my humble jihadi opinion, is not somebody who deserves it. He just isn't, and especially with all of the chaos and the situations that happened overseas because of the decisions that these people consciously made. It just doesn't work. So that's why a lot of the comments on Twitter didn't faze me whatsoever when they commented on his death. It didn't, because honestly, I regret not living here with Bob Ross. I have never seen a Bob Ross video whatsoever. I've seen some videos on YouTube, but I think I wasn't raised as well because I didn't have him to watch growing up. Talking about Bob Ross, not Colin Powell. Like, I grew up seeing him lie on TV, which killed hundreds of thousands. That's not the person that helped me raise. But yeah, the one issue I have with his death is how they were portraying it, especially when it came to the vaccine. And it's also another issue that they had going on with COVID deaths, I think throughout the whole pandemic, is that we had these people who had these underlying diseases as well that had complications come about with COVID that end up dying. I mean, when you're obese and you're already like, you need to start running or the next bug is going to kill you, then we need to have a better conversation on what it is that is really truly killing these people, because a lot of obese people die from the flu. They die from getting sick from otherwise really easy diseases to get over, but we're not having that conversation, and I don't know why. It's so weird to me. I think the reason why we're not having that conversation is because a lot of people on the left have pitted themselves to a corner, especially when it came to the body positive moment. That is what I think truly happened, because you have a lot of people who won't come out and say it publicly because it would have them canceled within the circles that they're in, but it's just true. And more often than not, like, I think it's over 85% or 90% even of people who actually died from COVID had these underlying diseases when it came to it. And I wish we would have more conversations on that issue. But yeah, he's gone. We got 4 more to go. And look, prayers and thoughts to his family and everyone who's mourning for his loss and all that kind of stuff. That's fine. But I'm not going to sugarcoat the situation that he put and that he helped put half the world in. That's not what I'm here to do. And I would not be true to myself and true to you guys who are watching tonight over this issue. I mean, you guys know I've been banned for worse opinions and takes, especially on Twitter. So that's not the first. And speaking of bad takes, the next story we're going to be discussing today is the Biden administration rolls out a plan to address mental health. And I find this really, really, really just ironic that they are coming out to address students' mental health, when from the very start of this pandemic, we had people coming out and saying that if we are locking kids up, especially within the ages of K to 12, when it is the most important time for them to be social, to be able to gain these different kind of characteristics that you need within society, especially within being able to interact with other kids their age, being able to interact with other grown-ups outside of their families, and everything. And for this to be rolled out from this administration is just fucking hilarious, because they are doing nothing but siding with teachers unions over and over again when it comes to masking, when it comes to vaccine mandates, when it comes to whether or not they're able to go back to school and when they're able to go back to school. And we have found out, and I think a lot more Americans are finding out and waking up to the fact that teachers unions do not give a shit about your children. They never have. They're out for one thing. They're out for their teachers, their bottom line. They are not going to be here to help your children succeed, because they don't want them to succeed. The more the students are in school, the better it is for teachers unions, because the more money they can get from governments. And it's just your tax-paying money being funneled through to pay for a political party. It's not paying for your kids. It really isn't. And I think that's why you're seeing an uptick on more parents for student choice. You're seeing an uptick of people actually being present when it comes to school board meetings and wanting to understand and know what is going on within their communities and within their schools. And I think we have done a real harm to our kids, locking them up for a year. I know there's a lot of states out there that have been open in 2021, but there's a lot that has happened between 2020 to 2021 that I think that has caused irreparable harm to a lot of kids. And we are in this world already that a lot of liberal policies that want to drill and make children activists. We have the same party here that is telling kids that world is going to end, that there's no in 10 years, that they're all going to die. Everyone that they love, everything that they know is going to end, and everyone's going to die, being drilled into their heads. There's no wonder why there's a huge uptick in mental health issues, especially within children. It's common sense to believe, and it's very logical to think that was going to be the end result on having this type of mentality when it came to politics, activism, and kids. They are bringing kids. I mean, for fuck's sake, they have a how old is she now? 16, 17. But when she was like 14 years old, they had her as the forefront, as the face of climate change, talking about how dare you and all of this type of shit. She has like, burgers in her ass or something. But that is what they want to do. They're trying to politicize kids. And now they're going to use this facade of mental health as a way to politicize them even more. Our producer comes in. The most affected aren't the ones who are in elementary school. It's the ones who are in preschool. They won't have the necessary development skills they need. I mean, that's true. And that also comes to talking about masking and masking kids who are, in preschool, in kindergarten, and even up to like the third grade. I don't know why we're not talking about how facial recognition and the facial expressions when teaching kids, especially young kids, is instrumental to their development, to their understanding of the situation, of what they're learning, how to respond, how to interact with other people. That has just gone out the window completely. I think we have study after study after study that says kids, especially like babies until they go to preschool or kindergarten, learn best when they have facial recognition, when they can lip read, when they can see your expression when you're talking to them, when you're disciplining them, when you're having fun with them. This is how they learn. And we are taking that away from them. And I think we have given kids too much. Well, I mean, if we think that we can politicize them and we can use them to push this agenda that is so far beyond the age of their maturity, that to think that they can just understand what we're saying when we're just talking to them is completely crazy. It's absolutely insane. And I think we need to address that. And I think, and more power to the parents who are bringing that stuff up. And it's just funny to me that the government that has caused this severe issue in mental health with kids during this pandemic wants you to trust them to actually get them out or to address or to treat this mental illness. It makes zero sense. And only people who are thick as fuck will believe that this is a way to treat their kids. And honestly, they should be the ones who have their kids taken away from them. It's worrisome where all of this is going, and the way we're supposed to just, if we don't follow line with them, if we don't say that this is what needs to happen, then our parents are labeled domestic terrorists when they voice any kind of concern. It's just so insane to me. School, like, there needs to be a huge awakening. I mean, something like this is just absolutely fucking. This is just way overboard. This is insane. And the mother and the parents are just laughing and being all happy about all of this type of stuff. This is just crazy. There's nothing in our studies in science or anything like that showcases that kids are this much of a threat, to do this to them, to mask them for 8 hours a day, to say that they have to get this vaccine that people have legitimate concerns over, especially when given to children. It's just insane to me. Hobby, thank you very much. If there is anything that this pandemic has highlighted, it's how little teachers, schools, and especially the government cares about you and your kids. That's absolutely true. They do not care about you or your family. They never have. They don't care about your health, your well-being. They don't care about your kids, the development of your kids. They don't care about any of this stuff. And I think a lot on the left are very lenient on this, is because they believe that, no, government should be your parent. Government should be your teacher. Government should be your provider. Government should do all of this stuff, which is just so fucking ridiculous. Because the same people who come and who are on Twitter, or who like to, pretend to be socialist on Twitch and stuff, is they like to state that government should do all of this stuff, but also government is fucking incompetent and they're stupid as shit. So if government is incompetent and stupid as shit, why the fuck should they steal money and be empowered even more by who? Like, the same people you say are complete garbage are in power right now and are being complete garbage. Why are we supposed to give them more power and more money to dictate all of these issues within the family or within your life? I would rather be responsible for my own mistakes than to be able to play victim for my whole life and say government did this. Government is doing this to mental health on my kids, and they fucked them up. Well, you allowed it. You voted for this stupid shit. So, I mean, everybody likes to play the victim, and they like to divert all of the hardships and what life entails onto something else. No, you are responsible for your kids. You need to make sure that they are provided for and they're healthy, and do everything in your power to help them. You can't be sitting around and waiting for somebody to give you handouts, or waiting for somebody else to take care of your kids, when all they're going to do is just fuck them up even more. Thank you very much, Prijamit, for the very nice super chat. Now that Siraj is gone and the real brain genius Jay is hosting, I feel safe to super chat. Jay, say gubernatorial race. I think I'm saying it right. Fucking piece of shit. As a chat, we should all just submit super chats with random names that Jay has to try to pronounce. Yeah, you can go ahead and do that. That is totally fine with me. Stacy Habibi, welcome to the solo Jihad Hour with Jay Kobbe. And also very nice to see you commenting and being live with us. Stacy had to undergo surgery, and thankfully she is feeling much better. And later on, we're supposed to go out for bourbon and tacos. So you can't curse me right now. But welcome, Stacy, and we're all very, very happy that you're here and with us. But one other thing that I wanted to highlight as well, talking about this this issue, was the American Academy of Pediatrics. They had this huge tweet thread. Well, not this huge tweet thread, but they had a pretty good tweet thread on the health, mental health, especially mental health, on the adolescents and their families through the course of the COVID-19 pandemic. And they go on to say that, children and their families across our country have experienced enormous adversity and disruption. And the inequities that result from structural racism have contributed disproportionate impacts on children from communities of color. That's why the AAP, AACAP, and the Hospital for Kids are declaring national state of emergency for children's health. Hey, American Academy of Pediatrics, the same issues that cause these mental health issues that you see within Black people are also happening within whites and other communities that you consider people of power. All kids are able to be developed in the same way, except for women. They can never parallel park, but all kids can be developed in the same way. And we need to see this as a national emergency for all races, for everyone. I don't know if they just think that if they start saying these buzzwords and this absolute garbage, that they're going to have more attention on the issue. And if they think that, I mean, more power to them. But we need to be seeing this as a blanket issue across all children. Because when you start putting labels that there are more other children that are more deserving than others, you're the ones who are causing this huge divide. It's not just people of color that are having this issue, and not just colored families. Jesus fucking Christ. Look at that. This reminds me of my mom when in the beginning of the pandemic, when she flew back to so when the pandemic happened, and God bless her, but when the pandemic happened, my mom was here in California. So when it happened, she couldn't fly, basically, because she didn't want to risk it. She didn't want to see what was going to happen, because her husband is very like is very susceptible to COVID and stuff. Like if he ever got it and everything, like I can get the concerns of everything. But when she flew back, she put a full hazmat suit on. She had the mask on, and then another mask on, and all of this stuff before she flew over. And I think it goes to show like the love she had for her husband and everything, and the concern she did. But this right here, this type of stuff is just absolutely fucking ridiculous. This is stupid as hell. I mean, unless we're to be honest, he looks like he's wearing underwear on his head with holes cut in it. It's fucking hilarious. Bart the Tree Guy, thank you very much for your $5 super chat. Pronounce this name. Itta Poo-poo? No, it's not Itta. It's Inta. Inta Poo-poo. So you wanted to put an in before the two T's, because you in Arabic is Inta, not Itta. So Inta Poo-poo. And thank you very, very, very much, Part, for that donation on on trying to say your poo-poo. And Josh, and no, you can't do it on Twitter right now. Stacy, parallel parking when you're 33 is not an early age. I'm just saying. It's truly an emergency for all racists. Pronounce eat poo poo. That's not how it's pronounced. Jesus. Look, that's the one thing I have an issue with English. In Arabic, like every letter and every little like dot and line on a letter and everything has a special meaning and has a special pronunciation on how to pronounce it. So I was taught to pronounce everything the way it's supposed to. So with the letters that it's supposed to be used to pronounce it. So English is fucked up. That's what it is. For example, like, night and knife. Like these are very, very, very hard words to pronounce when you're pronouncing things in English. They really are. But anyways, as we're moving on, how do you? Oh yes, Blake. Thank you very much for your comment and reminder. Habibis that are on our Discord, we're going to have spooky story night on Discord on Tuesday. You guys are gonna get fucking drunk, fucked up Jay tonight. That's what's gonna happen. So make sure that's exactly right. It's literally a bastard language. It really is. Faye, Aramaic. Hebrew is a ripoff of Aramaic, which Arabic is also a ripoff of Aramaic. Wait, maybe I got that wrong. Maybe No. I think I got that right. Hold on. I don't make it rain on my car just yet. I just got it washed. Wait, Faye. Please do not call Seth and get it to rain on. I beg you. Hebrew did come before Aramaic. Yes, that is true. I am sorry for that. You're right. 5'4" is not midget. I'm not a midget. Being 5'4", I'm not a midget. I'm really not. This sign behind me, this huge sign you see behind me is 8 feet in diameter. God damn it, Mom. Thank you very much. So the next story that we want to discuss today is the IRS and their creepy obsession with your bank account. It was announced that it wasn't announced, but they were trying to push a policy where it came to that they wanted to look at and see every transaction of $600. Now, I don't know about you. But I don't think billionaires and trillionaires care about transactions of $600. That's not, I mean, you're going to see transactions of $600 for their daily grocery bill. This is just absolutely fucking insane to me. And I think a lot of people push back on it. That's why they changed their position to go from $600 to $10,000. But it's $10,000 a year. This isn't $10,000 of one transaction. This is transactions over the whole year equating to $10,000. They're going to look into your bank account. And this is absolutely fucking insane. Luckily, we don't pay Spencer anything, right, Spencer? I don't think we pay you anything in order for them to dictate and see what's happening with the Habibi Bros account. So to work around this, we're only sending $20 every day to Pakistan in order to not cause any red flags. But of course, when this became Jay, it's not just transactions; it's having just $600 or $10,000 in your bank account alone. Yes. Thank you for the clarification. That is correct. And you are correct, Josh. He is still overpaid. I think he needs to start paying us for the title of being intern for Habibi Bros. And we do hide the money that our uncles give us because they don't give us money. They give us backpacks or vests. But to this situation here, and of course you have Josh Harwood. Look, people like Josh Harwood have taken a lot from their mothers when it came to how to raise themselves. And when I say it taken a lot from their mothers, I mean their mothers who are fucking whores, who got fucked by donkeys. That's what I mean by people like Josh Harwood. Because they come on here to try to spin as much as they can for politicians. And I mean this for anyone who tries to spin for politicians. But the reason why Josh Harwood is somebody who is very, very disgusting in doing something like this is because we are supposed to believe that this guy is a reporter, an honest journalist. It's not our fault. It's not Facebook's fault. It's not right-wing conspiracy fault. It's not Alex Jones type thinking or putting on your aluminum hat type thinking to say that people in journalism have an agenda and they want to push it on you. And they have a side that they play for. And this is the example that I would use to prove my point is Josh Harwood. He's not a journalist. He is a political activist here to pose himself as a journalist to push an agenda on you, to push a narrative on you. And it's not just him. It's also people like Dickface Glenn over at Washington Post, who is their fact checker, who put that. And he is the White House correspondent for CNN. So it's very lucky that Biden has a White House correspondent who is as big of a political activist as Josh Harwood is. And we saw that with the Podesta emails as well. That those emails that were leaked with WikiLeaks showcased what this guy really is. A fucking $2 bit gahba for the DNC. That's what he is. And these people need to be called out about it and hold responsible for it even more. Faye, thank you so much for the devilish super chat. Ahmed Aslan absurdly assists in materially mispronouncing multitudes of mumbling. Faye, thank you very much. And thank you for your support over the years. Honestly, we love you, Faye. It's great. Please don't make it rain on my car. I beg you, don't. But back to this: no, Biden isn't proposing that IRS spy on bank records by Salvador Rizzo. Is that the fact that they have this right here is hilarious when you have the current treasurer coming up and saying that yes, the IRS needs to see any transactions of $600 to make sure nothing strange is happening. Even the $10,000 over the year. This is a prime example of why the public mistrusts the media completely. Because you will have a politician or a official in this admin say something very clearly for everyone to understand, and they will come on and be like, no. I mean, after the huge backlash, they didn't put this report out until there was huge backlash that happened. This came out like a week after all of this came to light, and after the treasurer came to speak about how like they need to see $600 transactions. It's been a fucking week. So when they see the backlash, the public backlash and mistrust on this, then they come up and say, no. What they really meant was Biden has a stutter. It's just absolutely fucking disgusting and hilarious. It's blatant. It's right in your face. The media has and especially the mainstream media has an agenda. The mainstream media has the obligation to make their owners money and people who own them or corporations that own them money. And they also have biases to report and on how they report. It's not something crazy to think that reporters aren't being honest with you. It really isn't. And that doesn't mean that you need to dismiss every single fucking story that comes out. But it means you do need to be skeptical on them. And it does mean that you have to really dig in and do your own research on it. And it's the reason why places like Washington Post, New York Times, CNN want to go ahead and stop other outlets like YouTube, like Twitter. Like other voices on Twitter and Twitch. And Sax, our producer, putting me back onto track. This goes back to our conversation last week of reporters versus repeaters. And it goes straight into our next story, in our next video as well, where it had Barry Weiss. Sorry, stop! Don't make it rain on my car, Faye. I didn't mean to pronounce her name, please. But Barry Weiss and our favorite potato, Brian Stelter.
You write, there are tens of millions of Americans who aren't on the hard left or the hard right who feel the world has gone mad. So in what ways has the world gone mad?
Well, when you have the chief reporter on the beat of COVID for the New York Times talking about how questioning or pursuing the question of the lab leak is racist, the world has gone mad. When you're not able to say out loud and in public that there are differences between men and women, the world has gone mad. When we're not allowed to acknowledge that rioting is rioting and it is bad, and that silence is not violence, but violence is violence, the world has gone mad. When we're not able to say that Hunter Biden's laptop is a story worth pursuing, the world has gone mad. When, in the name of progress, young school children, as young as kindergarten, are being separated in public schools because of their race, and that is called progress rather than segregation, the world has gone mad. There are dozens of examples that I could share with you and with your viewers.
And you often say,
everyone
allowed.
sort of knows this, and
you say we're not allowed, we're not able.
between-
Who's the people stopping the conversation? Who are they?
People that work at networks, frankly, like the one I'm speaking on right now, who try and claim that, you know, it was racist to investigate the lab leak theory. It was.
But
I mean,
who
let's
said
just
that
take
at
an
CNN?
example.
But I'm just saying that when you say allowed, I just think it's a provocative thing you say. You say we're not allowed to talk about these things, but they're all over the internet. I can Google them. I can
Brian,
find them everywhere. I've heard about every story you
Of
mentioned.
course.
So I'm just suggesting, of course, people are allowed to cover whatever they want to cover.
But you and I both know, and it would be delusional to claim otherwise, that touching your finger to an increasing number of subjects that have been deemed third rail by the mainstream institutions and increasingly by some of the tech companies will lead to reputational damage, perhaps you losing your job, your children sometimes being demonized as well. And so what happens is a kind of internal self-censorship. This is something that I saw over and over again when I was at the New York Times.
Love being a boomer like Siraj because he's not here to play the whole video, so we can we can see that last bit there. But this was a great interaction between Brian Stelter and Barry Weiss, because normal people can see her and listen to her and see that actually a lot of the stuff that she's saying, especially with, you know, saying that the world has gone mad repeatedly, is true. We've seen this happen. I mean, and Brian Stelter just smirkily laugh or scoff at that is hilarious to me, because when the New York Post came out with that story, they came out with that story, and Twitter came out with a bullshit reason as to why they were not allowing the story to be published on their website. You had Jake Tapper come out and say, like, all New York Post has to do is delete that tweet. That right there is enough reason to look at Brian Stelter right in his eye and say he is full of shit. That CNN is full of shit. That Jack Tapper is full of shit. That they're all full of shit. Because no one came to the defense of New York Post. They all came with the reasoning and the idea that all the New York Post has to do is delete that tweet, delete that story. Don't put that through. That's all they had. That's what they were saying, and they were pushing. And now it's increasingly coming. I mean, even political. Political is a very, okay, maybe not a very, but it is left wing and it's left leaning. And they came out and they said, sorry. They basically came out and said, sorry, but there's merit to the story of Hunter Biden's laptop. And that is fucking insane. That's right there. Just completely vindicates New York Post in putting that out. I mean, there's no other way to look at it than them journalists cheering on and wanting the censorship of a story because it was looking and it was badly reflecting on Biden. Instead of cheering on the censorship, I think it would have been better on CNN and co. to come out and prove that that story was false. I think that's the way that they should have done it, instead of tweeting out and instead of not reporting it or even trying to do their journalistic duty in looking at the facts and looking at the story as a whole and pushing it. And Brian Stelter tries to pretend that he's a media reporter. And what better story for a media reporter to report on than a publisher being silenced by big tech over a story that is making one of the political nominees look bad? I think that would have been story of the fucking year as a media fucking reporter. But that's not what Brian Stelter is. Brian Stelter is a gahba who gets fucked by donkeys while being packed full of potatoes for the DNC. That's what they are. They're operatives for the DNC. He's not a journalist.
Jay, think about it. Like, imagine if someone on the left did this. Like, let's say it was, or someone on the right, rather. Let's say it was Don Jr., for example, or let's say it was any right-wing person. Like, this would have been front page New York Times, A1, Wall Street Journal, New York Post. Every single news outlet would be covering this. It would be wall-to-wall coverage of it as if this was Russiagate all over again.
Well, absolutely. I mean, they'll do it with any of the Trump kids, no matter what it is that they're doing. They will report on it as if it was some type of scandal. But when you have something here in your face of Hunter Biden, they try to suppress it, and then they want the biggest fucking enraging shit that I see is like they try to pretend that that Biden is some sort of like amazing father, like just because he always talks about his other son that died of brain cancer, that he likes to pretend died of being in military service. It's enraging and it's so stupid. There's nothing relatable about Biden. Nothing. He's not a good father. He's not a good figure. He's not a good anything to look at, but they want to pretend that he is. And this is the state of journalism. I mean, you have somebody like, to me, Brian Stelter or Don Lemon is to the same capacity of what Sean Hannity is. An opinion journalist or an opinionator or an opinion show. That's what they are. Also, everyone, this is Spencer right here, and he's fired.
Like usual. But no, you're completely right. I mean, this would happen time and time and time again, like every single time. Oh, who is this?
Oh my God. Here it is. We didn't try to replace you. That's not what happened. That's not what we tried to do. We knew you had internet issues.
I can't hear shit right now. Is someone saying words on here? What the fuck is going on? Do I have to take this shit off? What is... Oh, come on, Siraj.
Amazing.
You get your internet back and you immediately boomer this shit.
This is absolutely
amazing.
Fantastic.
Just
I mean,
fucking
my
amazing.
Nipples are so hard
I'm
right
gonna
now.
take this shit off. I can't do it. I can't do it.
Thinking of this right now, my nipples are so hard. Did this really happen? He really can't hear us.
No, I can hear you.
Oh, you can hear us now? Hello, Habibi.
Why am I hearing the test? Jesus.
He
Hey,
get
Boomer,
his
Boomer, hey Boomer. Just cold turkey it. Don't use any headphones. Just go straight from the speakers.
Not even listen to anything. All right, let's just do that.
Boomer, just Boomer.
What's
no
happening,
rights.
Libs?
Boomer.
What's going on, Boomer?
Not much. I'm gonna see if I can actually hear you. It's very faint.
You want me to lick your taint?
Turn your speaker up.
Here we go. All right, Jay.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, now I can hear you. Holy shit.
All right, perfect. Did you say you want me to lick your taint?
You gonna lick it?
Yeah.
Sorry, I just thought I'd crash here just because I wanted to say you're doing a great job. We're all counting on you.
Oh, thank you so much, Habibi, because I'm drinking a lot.
Oh, good. I only wanted to crash to say what's up. I did get my internet back. And
Alhamdulillah.
it is obviously the most what's the best way of putting it? So I had landscapers here who were trying to basically hook up the irrigation system out here. And in the process of doing so, they cut my internet. So they fixed the irrigation system because they initially cut the power to that. And then I lost internet for like a good day. So as soon as I got it back, I was like, yeah, Jay, just go ahead and do the solo show. There's no way I'm going to be able to catch up in time. So
Aesop with a super chat. If Sax is going to be on video, he should at least make his bed. Sax. Absolutely true. 100%.
For the record, that's my
Essentially.
college roommate's bed. My bed is perfectly made with a little bit of mess on top.
So Jay, what's going on? What's happening in the world this week?
So we danced on a grave.
Mm-hmm.
We talked about Colin Powell. We talked about kids going mental, and the governor race that I should be the governor of Virginia, so we can put journalists in Gitmo instead of flying them over to Cuba. Most of them already live in Virginia, so that would be an easy transition. We talked about how Josh Harwood's mother is a gappa who gets fucked by donkeys.
Mm-hmm.
And we talked about how places like the Washington Post are filled with whores who take after their mother when it comes to the story of the IRS wanting to look at any transactions of $600. And the problem with that, I was stating before, is they will find out the midgets we hire to dart into assholes of elephants. And that's a problem.
Sorry, I just heard assholes of elephants, and that caught my attention.
Yes. I was saying that how we were going to pay midget $600 to throw them into assholes of elephants.
So I just switched my microphone. I don't know if people can hear me a little bit better or not, or if it's coming in too strong.
No, we can hear you.
Okay, because the Habibi said that they couldn't hear me. And then one of the Habibis said it's so much better when you can't hear Siraj. So fuck you very much.
I love this love-hate relationship with the Habibis. And then Abe, how do you say Ichstein? Ichstein. Abe Ichstein. Did any of you boys watch Biden's speech today? No, I did not. What speech?
No. Didn't watch it. In fact, I've been out of the loop entirely.
We learned that Jay can't pronounce Goober Nash.
Goober National. What?
What is that? I can't pronounce. Is it gubernatorial? Governship? What is it? How do you say it?
Gubernatorial. Goob.
Fuck you, Spencer. You're fired. Spencer, you're fired.
Gubernatorial.
But
so Jay,
moving on. Yes, sir.
what's on your agenda?
So the next story after that CNN Barry Weiss was the International Pronoun Day. Did you know that it was the International Pronoun Day as stated by the State Department?
I saw a tweet by the State Department that was getting ratioed to oblivion about that. Yeah.
You were, or the tweet was getting racial to, yes, it really was, because it's very funny that that's the issue that the State Department is really worrying about and tweeted about when we still have American hostages in Afghanistan. Today on International Pronouns Day, we share why many people list pronouns in their email and social media profiles. Read more here. First of all, fuck you. Secondly, my pronouns are your mom, my face. And thirdly, look, excuse me. There's no problem, and I have no problem using pronouns a person wants. If that person wears a wig and says that she's a she, then I will say happily that person's a she. But when you go to the fucking ridiculousness of the they, thems, and theirs, I will tell you to go fuck yourself. Look, there is, I still believe that the majority of people who say that they want their pronouns are mentally ill and they need help. There is a subset and there is a fraction that are legitimately, there's a legitimate case to use that with. But there is no reason for us to coddle this more than we already have. And the State Department tweeting this shit is absolute garbage. It's stupid and it should not happen. So as I call you she, Siraj, what do you think?
I prefer Sharia.
Sharia.
Those are my pronouns. Yeah, Jay, I was watching the Chappelle special last night. I had no idea that the Netflix walkout was happening today, but I watched it with the wife and a few friends, and it was even funnier the second time around because I was watching not only Chappelle but watching everybody else's reaction to his jokes, and everybody I was watching with was pretty based. But there are some jokes that were just like, holy shit, I can't believe he said that. It's actually kind of fascinating how this protest, this walkout, where like there's supposedly going to be like 1,000 or so employees at Netflix doing this walkout. They only have like dozens of them. And then did you see that video where they
dozens of us?
Did you? Yeah, there's dozens of us. I don't know if you already talked about it. Did you?
No, not yet.
Okay, so you saw there was a gentleman there. I don't know if he was a Netflix employee or anything, but he was counter protesting, and he basically had a sign that said like, "I like Dave" or something like that, or "I like jokes" or "jokes are funny" or something like that. These like triggered Netflix employees who walked out, grabbed the dude's sign, ripped off the top of the sign, and only left them with a stick. And then they said, "Look, he has a weapon." Get the fuck out of here! You made it into that.
I know.
Why is he breaking my sign? Why is he breaking my sign? Don't have free speech rights? Don't have free speech rights as well as you?
Right there. Right there. He's got a weapon.
And there's
And
police
woman that's
present.
just like standing in front of him trying to dry hump him.
Yes. Get and leave. There's my weapon.
There's police presence
I'm not surprised.
and stuff, and they're screaming he has a weapon. That is, I mean, you can get shot.
Some dude had to text the AOC text the rich shirt on. Did you see that?
No, I saw it, and it's fucking,
Beautiful.
it's insane. If I was Netflix, and if I was the CEO, I would fire every one of the employees that walked
But
out.
this dude
I would
fucking
fire them.
caved. Did you see he caved yesterday?
Yeah, and a lot of people want to say, "Oh, he didn't really cave." No, look, you give these fucks an inch, you give any one of these pieces of fucking garbage an inch, they're going to take a mile. And it's
Right.
very funny to me that they're like, "Oh, we're only protesting the CEO. We're not protesting Dave and blah, 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 blah," and all this bullshit. Is that if I say I like Dave, or he was there saying I like Dave jokes, Dave is funny, they broke his sign.
Yo, and fucking Wanda Sykes, who is a lesbian comic who's actually really funny, was taking the side of these, woke trans Netflix employees staging this walkout, or these trans allies. And it's just stunning to me because, like, if you've watched any of Wanda Sykes' specials, like, she totally would get canceled by the same people.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. And that's the thing.
She is one of those people who definitely did not give a shit in the aughts, in the early 2010s.
And I tweeted this tweet, and I think it encapsulates what is going on right now. Is you do not have the right or the status of being so special to not be offended in this world. And I think we need to stop, and we need to actually teach and allow certain people to mature, to live in reality, instead of coddling them in a delusion. And we need to change that.
Chappelle, and it was good. I watched the special a second time because you really, you grab a few more things that you thought you learned the first time around, the second time around. And one of the better lines he said is, "How much do I have to participate in your self-image?" That is basically the struggle right now, is that a lot of people who are, part of this very small minority that's very vocal, let's just say the trans community in this particular regard, they want everybody to participate essentially 100% in their image. And most people do not give a shit.
No, they don't.
They don't. I mean, most people just want to go about and live their lives, and yet they're constantly just forcing it down their throat to say, "Oh, yeah, you have to acknowledge every single one of these things. If you don't, you're transphobe." And oh man, there was just another great line from that. And I was thinking about how he was talking initially about the baby, and how the baby killed somebody in a Walmart in North Carolina, and then got canceled for his homophobic remarks. He's like, in America, you can kill somebody, but you better not hurt a gay person's feelings. Like that. I mean, like every single day since his special has come out, like he's proven correct over and over again.
Absolutely. And people want to hide or be diluted. I want to say that they're played, and they want to distract on what is actually happening right now, is that they want to cancel Dave. Right. Nobody cares about the CEO and what he said. They want to cancel Dave.
And just like 5 years ago, when Dave Chappelle went on SNL after the 2016 election, everyone was like rallying behind him. And he was like, like the sage of the nation. And like he didn't really get too political, but even just saying that he was going to give Donald Trump a chance in 2016 after he was elected president, like that was enough. That was like the first domino to fall for him, because to the resistance, like you never give someone like Trump a chance. And even though Chappelle like later on said like I shouldn't have given him a chance, or like I shouldn't have said that, and he probably shouldn't have caved on that regard. He should have basically said, you know, I don't give a fuck, like I gave him a chance and he squandered it. He went so far as to say, yeah, I shouldn't have said that. That is something that Chappelle shouldn't have done. He should have just been like, he should have just stuck to his guns and just be like, hey, look, I gave him a chance and he didn't live up to my standards as what I thought he should have been. Gonna move on.
Yeah.
And I mean, he moved on, but a lot of people didn't. And so they're using this thing, this trans issue to drive a wedge, because apparently things aren't bad enough in this country already that they have to focus on something like this. I mean, the Chinese have a fucking hypersonic nuclear missile that goes into space. Food prices are skyrocketing, gas prices are skyrocketing, inflation's going up.
The only thing faster is my tongue in your mom's ass.
No comment, Jay. I'm just gonna breeze right past that one. Breeze right past that one. But yes, I have to say, everybody trying to go after Dave, one, either didn't watch the special, or two, really do not have a sense of humor.
I'm going to go with
what
one in combination with two.
Right. If you had really listened to what he was saying, you would know for a fact his issue is not with the trans community. So, yeah.
No, it isn't. It really isn't. But the thing is that, as you were saying, it's not an issue with the trans community. It's the issue of bowing down and submitting. That's what the issue is. He's not submitted.
It is. It's all about control. You're right. It's all about control.
That's what it is.
That's what I mean. If you are not privy to the fact that everything with respect to COVID now is about control, and possibly it was always about control, since it's the very beginning, there's a good chance. I mean that, and I hate to put this bluntly, but it's a good chance you're still a sheep. I mean,
yep.
Everything that's happening now is not in the interest of public health. Everything that's happening now is the interest of controlling people. They're coming up with arbitrary rules. I mean, if a lot of people, even people who are like left of center, or at least honest enough with themselves, can at least acknowledge that everything that's been happening over the last year and a half has all been about control and who takes the reins of this country.
Absolutely. And it's really funny that lesbian comedian who went on to try to say, like, you know, Netflix standing behind Dave Chappelle. And it's really funny because you have this person coming out and completely giving away all of it, giving it away, saying that it is the fact that they had Dave Chappelle coming on and giving his opinions and giving his show, that the reason why they are so mad at Netflix, it's because of Dave Chappelle and his views and what he has to say and all of that kind of stuff, that they're there. It has nothing to do with what the CEO said or how they handled the situation. Honestly, in any normal fucking company, in any normal situation, firing these people is the way to go.
Guys, Jay,
way to go.
Remember about a year ago, the whole cuties controversy? You didn't get the type of backlash against cuties like you do against Dave Chappelle.
No, you don't. And
Yeah, I
if
mean,
we're
like,
going to use the same ideology that they use in the same way that they want to paint everybody and the way people think as, then the reason why they didn't backlash against cuties and all that kind of stuff is because they're very into pedophilia.
yeah. The problem is though is that
Pedophilia.
society, specifically the woke left, they identify individuals, people they deem a threat to their very way of life because they feel that that person is smart enough and they have enough influence and they have enough charisma and they have a message that resonates with a lot of people. And the only way that these people can come through and destroy, I'm sorry, the only way to really neutralize them is to absolutely destroy them, to come up with, complete smears, find, any dirt they can on them. And the way, I mean, with Dave Chappelle, like, he is one of the few people who actually has done he doesn't just talk a good game, he walks a good game. I mean, everybody remembers when he left Chappelle's show, and the reason he left is because it was turning into something it wasn't, and that was basically how the corporation of Viacom, that then I guess still controls Comedy Central, wanted to just sort of really drive that whole racial aspect into his show. And even though he had a lot of racial jokes and he was making fun of like everybody, he said there was something about it that felt way off in a way that it seemed forced. And honestly, everything woke turns to shit, but let's be honest, a lot of things that corporations touch turn to shit as well. And I think it's become now a hand in hand type of situation where you have I mean, just like with everything that happened in the summer of 2020, how every single corporation lined up behind Black Lives Matter, not the slogan, but the actual organization, to sort of champion social justice and basically saying that like everyone needs to back this organization or else you're a racist. You then start to realize that a lot of these political movements are not in lockstep with the corporations, but the corporations are in lockstep with these political movements because they care more about profit over actual people and actual values. And Jay, there was a time they used to call it corporate America. That doesn't exist anymore. These are global corporations because they have no ties to America. They have no interest in making America a better place.
Nope,
even
they
if
don't.
They started out here,
And
they shipped all of their headquarters to tax havens overseas, so they never have to pay corporate tax here in the United States.
Right,
and you get Joe
manufacturing
Biden
jobs.
Oh, these corporations are not paying their fair share. Well, that's because you fucking drove all of these companies away from the United States, and now all of them have gone to China where they're using slave labor to make us fucking iPhones.
Yeah, and there's nothing stopping them. Like if you want to tax corporations 100%, then they'll be like, "Well, we're China. Yeah, fuck. We're a Chinese government now. So what are you going to do? You're not going to tax them shit. You can't do anything. If they have all of their production and all of their facilities and all of that kind of shit in Taiwan, in India, in China, the fuck you're going to do?
Yeah.
There's nothing you're going to do. You can't.
Drives me nuts.
It's fucking insane. It really is, because it's not about, being against corporations anymore, like a lot of these leftists want to be considered as. It's now there's an agenda that the government wants to push. This agenda is now going to be aligned with a lot of corporations, and they're going to push it and force it on you while they use slave labor to produce it. It's fucking hilarious to me. It's so insane. And I was talking about this before, and there was a little segment before that there's a lot of Twitch streamers who are, popular, and there's a lot of Twitter users who are very popular who say, like, government sucks, but we need to give them $3.5 trillion or we need to pay them all this fucking money, or we need to do all this kind of shit. And it makes zero sense. If you think the government is fucking stupid as shit, what makes you think that giving them $3.5 trillion for healthcare and education and blah, 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 that they like to pretend that these are good things? Like, it makes zero sense to me. It really, really does. It makes zero sense.
I was just gonna say, and this will be my last word before I hop off here, so you can go finish the show. I was just gonna say that when it comes to this idea that somehow the rich are gonna pay their fair share, you have now well-known economists saying, "Oh yeah, the rich are going to pay their fair share, and there are going to be there's going to be zero cost to the American people for this Build Back Better agenda." And at that point, you realize that these economists are basically compromised because they're bought and paid for by the federal government. They are putting out propaganda in favor of the U.S. government to say that, oh yeah, all these policies are going to work because just trust us. It's a bunch of lies. It's a bunch of bullshit. They're gaslighting us, and it looks like I have a blurry screen again. So I guess that just kicked in just in time as I was about to head out. So before I go, I see that there is a request for me to Sir Hakirat. He said, wouldn't be an HPH episode without the Pakistani accent. So here, sir. Hello, sir. I'm back, and you're back as well. So
you got to do the head bobs. You got to do the head bobs.
But I mean, I tried to do it. I tried to do it, sir. The Jihadi Hour with Jay and a wild Siraj.
Wild.
So, wild. And my webcam, it is going in and out. So
Alhamdulillah. MashaAllah.
MashaAllah.
مع Siraj.
So Habibi, I'll let you finish the show. I'm gonna
الكاميرا
I'm
أنا بحبك.
Love you, Habibi. Good show. I'll talk to you later, okay?
مع السلامة.
Mess.
That was awesome. And Spencer, it's cool. Let him say, hey, Turtleneck is my brother, and his opinions do not matter. Love you, Omar. I do. Rami. I got two brothers, one Omar and one Rami. Rami, I love you. Thank you very much for your comment. No, Katie, I don't tear. Look, there's no tear. No. 0 tears. No tears. I was raised by a first immigrant Lebanese person, and that man taught me not to cry. Siraj is gone. I'm just playing. So this is going to be our last segment, and it's going to ask me anything, which is ask us anything, and I'll go through a few of your comments before I head off. Yes, it is. Oh, I'm sorry, Jen. Do you want me to? No, I'm just playing. I'm just messing. Jay is going to tear into an ass soon. Honestly, that is very true. But the first thing I'm going to do after this is go straight for Taco Bell. Josh, and again, also off of Twitter. Yeah, he's going to tear into an ass soon. This is very true. I will. Asepo, what's the Taco Bell order tonight? Well, it's very simple. It's going to be 3 crunchy tacos, 1 crunchy Crunch Supreme, and a chicken quesadilla. Thank you, Jen. I am going to try it. I will, and I will review it. Faye, Jay, I appreciate the bravery in going solo tonight. Alhamdulillah, you did well. Thank you very much, Faye. Thank you very much. And I can hear myself fucking up words. I really, really can. Soak up the alcohol, inshallah. Prison Mitch, Jay, what sucks harder, Dan's mom or the Red Sox performance? Honestly, Prison Mitch, I'll tell you 100%. The thing that sucks harder is Fuzzy's mom. That sucks the hardest. Mary Lynette, which is my mother. How much water have you drank today? Look, I'm going to say water because that's not an ass splash. That's water. That's not a pussy coming. That's water. Because my mom is asking how much, not pussy splatter, but how much water have you drank tonight? And that's been 2 to 3 gallons. I've drank a lot of water tonight. I'm good. I'm good tonight. And Zachary Wilson, I agree with Faye. Good job at Habibi Bros. Thank you very much, Zachary. And honestly, Zachary's been a Habibi from day one. Loving having you on here. Thank you so much for joining us. And Prison Mitch, why is your mom making jizz emojis? Because Prison, because she's a fucking boomer. That's why. Yes, Prison Mitch. Inshallah, that's what I'm going to be doing to Fuzzy's mom later on tonight. Inshallah. Danielle, see, is you girlfriend a doctor or were you channeling Shapiro? No, she really is a doctor and she's a great doctor. I'm very proud of her. And I think she's way too smart to be with a fuck like me for sure. But she's really, really a doctor. And my mom coming over here, slapping her head. Mom, you're the one who made the comments. Nobody else. That was you. Drunk Jay makes my week. Yes. And Anthony Riviera coming in with Jay. Whoa. Jay, what's it like not being able to talk? I'm talking just fine, Anthony. And later on tonight, I'll be talking to your mother's ass. Very, very sweet things, for sure. Josh coming in, but a real doctor, not Joe Biden one. Yes, a real doctor. Like if your wife came in or your 30-year-old son came in, she would be able to diagnose and help. She's a real doctor, not Joe Biden. Not somebody who's just, there to pretend. Not at all. Great doctor, poor taste in men. Faye, I like to think your way into Habibiness is because of how much I talk about eating ass. And Hakrat coming in with a fatality. Wallahi, she did kill me. That's 100% true. Faye knows how to come with the fatality and making it rain on my wash car. That's for sure. But Habibis, I love you all. Ana بحبكم, everyone. Thank you very much for joining me on my solo stream tonight. I love you all. Everyone on Rumble, thank you very much for joining us. Everyone on YouTube and on my Twitch stream. You guys have a great night. I love you all. And Sax, you're fired.